Hello guys, today we will take a look at that mob grinder out there that I placed in the survival world. You can tell by the landscape that is the conditions that you will have if you build it in the SMP world or your single player world. And here is the unremarkable shed at the seaside that will lead to the mob grinder. So let's hurry up and go there. You can see this hidden door with a portal. There is a technical reason why I put it here. We'll talk about it later in the second part of the video. But right now let's see what we have here. There are two portals, the output for creepers, the output for skeletons, where you can farm the infinite amounts of these mobs and kill them with these looting swords or with anything else to collect the experience. And this portal will lead us to the mob grinder, to the basement, the main floor, where you have all tools you might need there. We will talk about the portal setup later, but right now let's see what we have here. There are the basic tools that you need to work with experience, the wiring room for the wiring of the hatch, the room that leads to the tower of the control of the sorter and the spawner controls, and the redstone wiring of the record farm that we have here, that's controlled by these two buttons and the pressure plate. And also we have the purifier with the manual mob sorter. It's pretty simple, nothing so complicated, with a purifying room down there. But right now let's go up there and take a look at it in action. I will turn on the difficulty. You can see right now that there are just 5 entities, that is the cat, the villager, and 3 snow golems. No mobs are spawning there because the spawner is disabled, and this 2 switch will control the whole thing. So let's turn the spawner on and have the mobs spawning. So here they are going. The newly spawned mobs will walk to this tower, the main tower, for the unsorted mobs, and they will start falling down here soon. Come on, here they are. So let's turn on the sorter, so they will stop going here, and instead they will enter the mob sorter that will initialize and start the whole mechanism. They are here, the 2 or 3 hit points, so you can kill them in 1 or 2 punches. If you don't want them to go through the long way through the mob sorter and have the basic mob grinder, so the mobs will directly fall here from the spawner. And right now I can tell by the sound that it's initialized. Let's lower it so it won't interfere us, and let's go up there, take a look at it in action by this spiral staircase that leads to the second floor, where we'll spend most of the time while working with the sorter and debugging it. You can see that the sorter is working. It's the older version of the sorter. I have a new one that I will make tutorial soon, but this one is working, and as you can see it sorts well. All mobs are going where we need and entering the elevator, which will take them to the required height to drop them down and have their HP lowered or kill them. That is controlled by the dispenser with the water that we have there up there in the tower. And as you saw there were switches near the mob faces. The switches will control the mob that will fall from there and decide, will it die or will it have 1 heart of health. So we will talk about the details of the technical things of this in the second part of the video, and right now let's head to the sorter and take a look what's going on here. So you can see the zombies coming here. It's the simple mob grinder that I made tutorial on with the adjustment of the turning on thing. These dispensers will flood all the spawning pads and enable the mobs from spawning, so we can do a maintenance when we need right here. Also you can see these levers that are turned on the dispensers with water for the softener, and there are 3 floors I can show you, and a roof, so you can build one if you will see the mob grinder tutorial that I made earlier. So let's go down and make the mobs suffer by this spiral staircase again. Okay, so right now the mobs are dying from the falling damage. You can see some loot at here, no need to worry. Zombies just picked it up in the sorter while they initializing, and right now they will just drop the meat here, and everything is okay with creepers and the skeletons. So that is the levers I talked about, and let's turn it on to have the creepers and the skeletons alive, because we need to try out the record farm. So this softener will turn on the dispenser that will shoot the water, and the mobs that are falling through the tower will have their falling broke by the water and fall here with the 1 heart. So we can do various things with them. So where are the creepers? Come on. And all the mobs can die or live at 1 heart, but just creepers and skeletons can be sent to the nether, because I don't see any reason to do that with zombies, but with a few adjustments I can add another portal and we will have it. So you can see there are 1 creeper, yes, and some skeletons. So let's quickly try the record farm. Hopefully some creepers will come there, and go to the basement. So this is the record farm I talked about, and it controlled by the 3 buttons, or 2 buttons, or the pressure plate. The first button will load mobs. It will switch these hatches that will remove the floor under the mobs, and they will enter the canals that will lead them to here, these chambers. Then we will be able to kill the skeletons, and this button will open the trapdoor out there above the cacti, and we will collect the loot, stepping on this pressure plate that will turn on the water that will be going through the dispenser and pushing all the loot here. So let's try it out and load the mobs. The skeletons are coming very quickly. There is a bunch of them, but we will need for the creepers to come. Okay, right now the only thing I need is just to step closer, so the skeletons start shooting through the creepers at me and killing them. The creepers went through the mob softener, that's why they have just 1 heart, and we don't need to wait for a long time for them to die. So we can now get rid of the skeletons by pushing this button. Most of them are falling, and collect the loot, stepping on this pressure plate. You can see I have no records, and right now there are just 2 records, or 3 from 3 creepers. And you might don't need this machine, but it's very neat, so that's why I built it. And here we have the purifier. That lever will remove the floor at the mob processing place, and the zombies will fall directly here, and we will be able to sort out the villagers and the zombies with armor or the zombies with items and send them to the purifying room down there to do various things with them. So right now I will just forward the video because we need some time to have the zombie villagers here. I don't see them right now, but right now we will wait for the old zombies to die. Okay. And here it goes. So you will turn the lever and let him go to the purifier, so you understand the basic idea. And you can do the same to sort out the mobs that are in the armor. They might drop the enchanted pieces of this armor. And right here I have the purifier with the zombies that I sorted accidentally, so I will kill them just when I need to sort out the villagers. And right here we can see the wiring room with the cacti that the zombies fall and that we don't need, and that's basically it. Let's talk about the details about how to build this thing. The first thing you need to do is to decide the location. I recommend to place it right above the ocean, because we have about 20 blocks of the buffer where mobs won't spawn, and you can place it lower than above the other biomes if you do it above the ocean, because no mobs will spawn in the caves and you won't need to lit up everything down there. And also it will be visible from the sea side, and will save your life if you accidentally fall from here. And not to mention that it looks pretty cool if you look at it from the mountains or the hills. The spawner floors are between the Y20 and Y92, but the hate bug is now fixed and mobs are now spawning on all hates, so you can place it much higher if you want, and you won't have any penalty with the mob spawning. So let's talk about the portal setup. It's very important to calculate these dots before you start building it, and you need to decide where your portals will be if you want to use them in your mob grinder. And the thing you need to do is to decide where is the central point of the grinder that is divided by 8. Note that there is a Fleur factor, so this is the block that 7183 and 28 and 79, which will be divided by 8 without the remaining parts, and it's the place where the game will try to put you when you travel from the nether from the certain coordinates. And just count the other blocks that are 7 blocks apart and place the portals like that, so every portal will lead respectively to their pair. And in the nether you will have something like this. You will need to decide just the central block, and if you will calculate its coordinates right, you can just plop down the 4 portals around this block, and all the portals will lead to the portals in the overworld where you need. But there's one trick about the portals. If you place them above the 128Y, they will try to find the closest portal in the 256 per x 256 blocks around the point. If there are no portals below the Y128, then they will send you to these portals, but otherwise they will lead you to the other portal maybe even to that one if I place it up high. So note that you need to place the portals farther here, and remember that the portals tend to send player to the southeast direction because the coordinates are increasing if you go to this direction. So when you have to build your own mob sorter, you will take to account the ocean depth below you. And right now I have a Y48, and it's about 120 blocks from the ocean floor where you need to place that, and find the point that is divided by 8. Here it is, and place all the blocks from the 7 blocks apart from each other. It's right here probably, and place the portals respectively in their locations, so you won't have any problems with the mobs going out the nether and to the nether, and you will be able to enter the mob grinder safely if you use a portal system for this. And this is the place where everything starts. From these redstone lamps we will give the signal to the sorter, that is the blue wool, and the spawner, that is a red wool. The red wool will take the signal up here to this circuit that will emulate the pulse from the switch. It will detect the edge and it will give a pulse, because we need a pulse to shoot the water out and in. And this redstone buses will give the signal to each floor, and the top bus will send this signal to the roof, where the signal is sent to the other towers with buses in it that will spread the signal to the other dispensers. And in the off state, the sorter looks like that. The water is flowing everywhere, disabling the mobs from spawning, and you won't have any mobs here. They will spawn never on the water, and you can safely do some things in here. After the spawning the mobs will fall here and go to the sorter. And right now the sorter is in off state, and it is controlled by that torch you can see there that will turn on the piston that will block the path. It will also retract this piston that will open the path to the sorter, and it will also disable this dispenser if the sorter were in the working state when you turned the sorter off. So you can turn it off when it works, and the mobs will fall here without the water breaking, and it will work just like you haven't started the sorter. And let's try to start the sorter to see that. Here the block is closed. I will destroy it right now, and the path to the sorter is opened. Right now I will put there one zombie, so you will see what's happening there. It enters here and the golem starts shooting. The water is flowing and pushing me here, where I will fall and go to my tube. Let's pretend I'm a creeper. That is a very important thing I have here, and doors. These doors are needed for the zombies, so right now they will try to go to this trap door because it's the closest block to the villager, but you might put some blocks in here and there will be a shortcut that leads to the villager, so that's why I put these trapdoors here, because zombies can't go through it. They see this as the blocks they can't pass through. And the same thing is for this door, because skeletons trying to reach the snow golems, and this block may be farther to this snow golem than this block, for example, and that's why I need to cut out their way to this snow golem. And these fence gates are working the otherwise vice versa. They will pass the mob through. The mobs can pass and go freely through them, but mobs can't see through it, and that is the trick that I've used in the record farm. Skeletons can't shoot at me unless I will go through the hitbox of this thing, and that's why the creepers won't blow up when they going through this hole, and we are staying right here. Otherwise they will be aggroing at you and might blow up in here. So you will be safe unless you will enter the sorter, and you can work on this floor without worrying about blowing up anything or dying from the mobs. So the sorted mobs are going to their tubes, where they are headed to these towers and elevators, and they will be pushed by this water to the dropper, and that is the dispenser I talk about. It will spawn the water that will that will break their falling, and they will fall here with 1 heart and won't die. Otherwise they will die here and just drop loot. And the nether switch will open the hatch and replace this block with this block, so these pistons are working in the same time. So if one is extend, the other will be retract, and this path will lead to the record farm, and this one will lead me to the portal, which will teleport me to the creeper chamber, as you can see here. And now let's take a look at the wiring. This block will decide will the hatch be opened or closed. The hatch is a block below the mob, the block that mob are staying at, and if you put the signal to this torch, it will open it. And this block will decide where the mobs will go after falling through the hatch, to the portal that is out there for the skeletons, or the record farm that is out here. And the skeletons that are going through the hatch are headed here on this trapdoor that will be closed by default. That's why they are staying there, being ready to shot at the creepers. And the button that controls the killing machine will just open this trapdoor, and the skeletons will fall on the cacti. That's why some skeletons are staying out there. They're just staying at the trapdoor, because the trapdoor is a bit staying out there, and there is a hitbox where they can stand on. And also I have the pressure plate that will give the signal to this dispenser that will spawn water and let the loot flow above these blocks to the hole. And also the signal goes to the creepers mob processor that will also open the hatch that is that block and decide for the creepers where to go, to the portal or the record farm. And this is the hard switch that goes from the nether switch that will disable the record farm when the mobs are headed to the nether, because we don't need mobs at full health right at the record farm, because skeletons will shoot at them for the long time. We just want to collect our records faster. And that's basically it for the record farming. Let's go to the purifier. And this torch will turn on the mob hatch for the zombies, it will be controlled by the lever at the purifier off on state, and it will just remove the floor, and the zombies will enter directly the purifier instead of the mob processing chamber, and they will start flowing by in the stream that goes above these blocks, and step on this block where we will decide where to proceed them. These two pistons will work the same way as the directional pistons in the other places out there, and if one of these pistons is extend, the other will be retract, and its state is controlled by the lever of the manual mob sorter. So when the zombie that we need goes through the blocks and enters the area where we need to sort him, we just turn on the lever, and this piston will retract and this one will extend. This piston will redirect the water, so the zombie will flow there and enter the mob chamber that is situated behind this wall. Otherwise, the zombie will just go here and die from the cacti damage. So that's basically it for all the wiring. I have here just a simple fence gates to enable the mobs from going out of the purifying room, and I will open it only when I need to take out the villagers or enter there to get some loot, and this door will enable the villagers from going out and rampaging out there. So we will be able to load them on the carts and send to the nether and do whatever we like with them. And here we have all the tools we need to purify the zombies, and a railway that we will put the minecarts on to take the villagers out from the chamber. And that's basically it. Ask any questions you might have. I will explain all issues that you might have while doing this task, and I will try to answer any question you have. So see you later. Take care.